What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo. Tonight, we're talking Peacemaker, Episode 6, Ignorance is Chris. But before we get into all of that fun, Dave, how's it going, good sir?
Well, Keith, I am fan-freaking-tastic, and another great episode of this show. And the title fits perfectly. He's completely oblivious to what we're going to talk about. He didn't even realize what was going on around him. But I would defer to Doug right now, but where is he tonight?
He is actually off creating his whole new science fiction universe based off of the crazy inside of his head, which we can only imagine is going to be the next big... It's going to be the next MCU, next Star Wars. Disney will probably buy it up. It's going to be
The next
produced...
Rebel Moon?
Yeah, the next Rebel Moon. Yes, exactly.
He'll love to hear that.
Yes. Just for the record, make sure, Doug, that you know that was Dave that called you Project Rebel Moon, not this guy.
Well, in lieu of Doug, how are you doing, Keith?
I am tremendous. A little tired. I was up late last night to see a tie in football, so yeah, that was fun. It wasn't. But I am excited to talk about Peacemaker because another fine addition to the Peacemaker thing. It was episode 6, 2 more episodes this season. This was Ignorance is Chris. And, starts out, Amelia is pretty much saying we got to take this to Vigilante's house because nobody knows his secret identity. At least Argus doesn't know his secret identity, so they won't know to look there. And, of course, the way he treats his mom.
I thought, was it Wedding Crashers? Is that what I was picturing? Ma! Meatloaf! That's what... Mom, just shut up. Just shut up.
Why are you still following us? You're not allowed in here. Oh, but is this Amelia? You broke up with her for being too slutty? That's not something. And she's just like...
Oh, yeah. James Gunn is so good at writing these scenes.
He does a good job with taking it and making it very uncomfortable in a situation like that. And, of course, Vigilante's like, Mom, no, stop. And he's like, I got to say something to cover up my, vigilante activities at night. It's true. It would be kind of weird. Where are you going? Nowhere? You have a girlfriend. She'll probably believe it. So, good for him. But they end up setting the quantum unfolding chamber. And, of course, he doesn't spend any of the money he gets when he breaks up. Doesn't do anything with all the drugs. So it's just all in this room. And I love the fact that they were all taking cash, because I would have done the same thing. Hold on a sec. Yeah, we're good. But she sets up the door. She kind of remembers how to do it. And they're kind of standing there, and John's like, is that all it does? And then it does and just blows coke all over.
Cocaine and money all over the place. And that's hilarious. And then later on, it comes back in the plot. It's little things like that add the spice to the story.
It always does. It's nice when stuff like that pays off later. It's not just for effect. Not just, hey, let's just have a bunch of cocaine blow all over him. Ha ha, it's funny. It does come into play and push the story forward in a very organic way. It doesn't feel, pushed or anything else. But, they end up entering the other universe, and they're kind of exploring the top trio's mansion. And, of course, they're like, I can see why Chris wants to stay here. It's, wow, this is really nice, And then Keith arrives home, and everyone hides except for Amelia. And, he wanted me to grab this, put it on my desk.
Like Grandma's action.
Yeah. That my grandma gave him? Yeah. He, it's a
he
snow
said
globe.
I could take it from my desk.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a snow globe. You shake it, and it looks like it's snowing. Yeah, that's how snow globes work.
Yeah.
I like that she was not good on her feet in this situation. Like, she wasn't saying the perfect thing. She was making it very awkward. But of course, he's just like, oh, you're just like my weird brother. I can see why you two I've never seen you wear black before. What's going on with that?
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. But he offers her a ride because they have to meet at Argus to, fill out the TPC report on the kaiju fight from the last episode. And, they're heading in, and the drug dog goes nuts when she walks in because she still has all the cocaine all over her.
But she should have sniffed off her clothes by then. I don't know what she was waiting for. Free cocaine. I'm not advocating for doing drugs. I'm just playing.
Just a joke, people. But they take her to an interrogation room, and then Peacemaker shows up. He had seen her there, knowing full well he just left this dimension's one at her house when he came in. So he knew exactly who it was. And, he's kind of, we'll let you go or whatever. I'll come in the room and, there's no drugs in your system, right? And she's like, no, it's, thing. But then Vigilante decides to leave out on his own, leaving Economos and Abidio back at the Smith Mansion, and he runs into his double. And I love it too. Every little thing. Oh my God, that's a chipmunk at my place. Oh, this is so great. A dragon, because of course the blue. I like he's the blue dragon here too, by the way, not the white dragon. But a dragon. There was a snake from where I was. Oh my God, my keys still work. And then they did confirm something very important in this episode of Peacemaker that we were talking about last week. They must have comic books in this universe because they Spider-Man memed each other, and they made reference to the Spider-Man meme. So Spider-Man's there.
Yeah, so now he's canon in the DCU.
Yep.
So they can bring in Tom Holland if they want to.
That would be fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. And Rick Flag Sr., since he's unable to find any leads on Peacemaker, decides to call up Belle Reeve and set up an appointment with none other than Lex Luthor.
Yep, we saw that coming. I think you called that last week or the week before even.
I figured he would need an expert, and he did. And it was nice because, he's serving like 265 years, I think he said. And now,
how many people did he supposedly kill?
That's a good question. I don't know, but
that's a lot of years.
That is, he must have tried to break out a bunch of. Oh wait, no, that's a different show. Let's not talk about that. But he can't get him out of prison. But he said he could, change his prisons, and I think without any metahumans. I forgot what he said, but he said this large guy is BFing this twink with wings or something with human eyes. And I'm just like, wait, who's he talking about there? I think one might have been Killer Croc, but I don't know who the other one was. But, he wants to get away from metahumans, so he offers him a way out as long as he helps him.
The Ghislaine Maxwell treatment, that's what he got.
He did. And all he has to do is give him something so he can detect where the quantum unfolding chamber is. And he agrees. Now, my question to you is he cooperating with Rick Flag Sr. as a redemption arc or a manipulation plot?
I think with Lex, it's always manipulation. And he will play that into his team up with Superman in the next movie. And you're going to find out at the end of that he's just been playing all along to try and get what he wants. So I like that they're setting it up now, and it's going to take, it's going to take some time to play out. I like that.
I do think, too, he'll work this into being allowed to work on stuff in prison. Like, he'll have his own lab set up in the prison as a way, hey, I want to continue to help, so he'll be doing things. And in the All-Star Superman, after he was arrested, he was still doing stuff in prison, supposedly to help. and he was doing his own things too, which of course Lex Luthor is going to do. So as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, this is definitely going to be Lex getting enough freedom to continue working. And, he'll have to team up with Superman for Man of Tomorrow, for whatever threat that might be, probably Brainiac, but we'll see. But I like the fact that he even tells him, you might as well just go with your final offer, because you're not going to, be able to wit me or anything. So you might as well
negotiate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that was there. I wasn't sure of Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor when he was first, but he's great. He really does a great job. I mean, he said he, kind of studied Michael Rosenbaum's Rex, and it shows. I mean, they're so well done. And then Chris is talking to Harcourt while they're in custody, and they're arguing again over feelings, and Harcourt's explaining, she's broken, unable to feel, and blah, blah, blah. And he was, kind of upset, but not really, that she was dating Rick Flag Jr. She's like, I wasn't really dating him. I was his friend. His friends with benefits, and it kind of goes back and forth. And finally, they come in and say, yeah, there's nothing in her blood. She's free to go or whatever. And she's trying to explain to him, you got to come back. And he's like, wow, this is great. She's like,
have you noticed anything?
Anything at all? No. It's great. Okay, well, there's no people of color. Oh, no, come on. There's got to be. He's like so oblivious to it. He didn't even notice.
He didn't even notice because he was so focused on his own life and his happiness with Amelia in this dimension. And his brother.
Yeah. And he even says, like, well, I'm kind of enjoying your doppelganger here. She's kind of nice. But, of course, that's not really the Amelia he knows. He kind of likes it because it looks like her, but it's really not her. And I think that's going to come to a head in the next couple episodes. But then
I think it made a difference when the one he knows came through, because why did he, he wants her. He doesn't want her doppelganger.
Yes.
Exactly. So, and when she came back, that's why it meant so much more to him than hanging out with the other one.
Yep. And then we see Vigilante talking more with Vigilante, and they're getting along great. Everything's the same until he says, and your best friend is Chris Smith, Peacemaker. He goes, no, I hate that guy. And he's like, what? He goes, yeah, because of him, I joined the Sons of Liberty to fight against his crusade. And he's like, whoa.
You're not friends with him, are you?
Yeah. We're best friends forever. But I think that Vigilante's probably going to find out that their Chris Smith is a lot better than the one from this dimension. Obviously, he's the star of the show, but I thought it was great when he's like, I do have a theory about the Sons of Liberty.
Fire away, Chief.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
I think I know who is going to be the leader of the Sons of Liberty. Amanda Waller.
Amanda Waller. She's not a son.
True. I can't argue the facts. But I think she's going to be the one who set up the resistance against the top trio and, obviously the Nazis. Because we do see...
Is she going to come back into our universe?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be this one's universe that comes in, but I think they're going to realize something that, even though she has a way of doing things that aren't always the best way, she really does want the best for everybody. And I think Abigail, she's going to save Abigail somehow. And she's going to forgive her mother in this dimension because of it. I think it's all going to kind of work together. But, Augie comes back to the house and finds John sitting there. And, of course, he stabs him in the hand. And John just tells him everything. It's like he's the worst field agent of all. And your son, it's a Chris from our dimension. He came in and he killed your Peacemaker, and he wants to stay here because it's so great. And he's just like,
A lot of stuff right there.
But it was
I get really nervous.
perfectly fitting for how John would be, of course, because that's kind of how he rolls. And
Yeah,
then,
I like how he points out that he's got, social anxiety disorders and stuff, and that's why he talks so much.
and then we see Peacemaker like still kind of, oh, this isn't that. There's no way. And they find a little American flag, but the stars are replaced by a swastika. And he's kind of catching on. And I don't know if you noticed this, but the dance at the beginning has Chris doing this, followed by this. Which
Yeah. I didn't notice it until you sent it to us. And
I
I'm
didn't.
like, yep.
I didn't notice it either, and I was like, they were showing us from the beginning what was
Yeah.
going to be going on in this dimension. We all kind of figured it out.
That's what they said about last season, that the season was in the dance.
Yep.
And so, why wouldn't they do that same thing? It's clever. It's really clever. I still think last year's dance is better than this year's dance. But that's a nice grab, I guess. Nice.
Nice foreshadowing. Nice
Yeah.
things to break down. Next year, when season 3 comes out, everyone's going to be breaking down the dance number. Oh, and
Yeah.
we think this means, which hopefully there is a 3. But it was funny because Doug and I were talking. Was it last week? Were me and him just on? Oh, you might have been away for a minute. But the new song's growing on me. I did not really like it at first. But I have to admit, I'm starting to enjoy the song. And still
The part I don't like is when it keeps going on and on at the end and fades away. Yeah, no, or yeah. I was like, okay, enough.
but this episode ends. We see Ebediah out on her walk when she left Harcourt, or not Harcourt, but John.
Animals.
And she's walking, and we see just a neighbor driving by, like staring at her, like, what is going on? And she's just kind of like, okay, what's going on? And we see her stop and pull, and then Keith drives by and just stops and gets out and yells, "Black!" And he's honking his horn for all the neighbors, and it ends with her just being chased by the entire neighborhood, which...
Really, it's not funny. It's just a ridiculous situation. How can that...
Especially, she's always been the conscious of the group. She's always the one who kind of, especially when Peacemaker wanted to come over here, and she was like, is that really a good idea? You need to listen. You're here for a reason, and you need to be here, and not even sure that place is real, and, it sounds... She's always been the one kind of setting the tone and being like, let's not jump to things. It's not as going... It's, the grass isn't always greener. And unfortunately, she's the one who is in serious trouble right now. And before we started, Dave had asked, what about Judo Master? I do think he is hiding because he probably, much like Harcourt, figured it out quickly. Like, why is everybody white here? Or he got caught by Argus already. He went to Argus to report something, and they just snatched him up. And maybe they're going to have to free him. Maybe he's going to have to be freed by Peacemaker. And he is not going to... Or John.
Yeah, and that's going to send them all after him and make him go back to our reality. And Eagly's going to get a lot more action, I'm sure. You can't just leave him out. They left him out of the whole episode. I didn't know what to do.
No, he was in there. He was eating meat. Remember? He made a mess in the kitchen. And they were feeding him meat.
Yeah. That's right.
And I wonder if we are done seeing Lex this season. They kind of made it out like it was. Like he's going to give him something to track it. But, man, I don't know. It was kind of... I'm hoping he comes back for another bit. But, of course, we may not see him because all he really needs to do is create that tracking device. What else here?
I think we'll see David Cornsweat.
It'd be cool if we did. As like a Nazi Superman, that would be crazy. They would have to run. Oh, and I did write here, kind of what we talked about with ignorance is Chris, how he was so happy with finding his dad and brother alive and seemingly, you know, I don't want to say loving towards him. You know, he got everything he wanted that he never had out of that. And that is definitely why he did not see what was going on in that universe. And it seems like everyone else picked up on it pretty quick. But he had been there for months, or not months, but days and days, and he's just so happy with what's going for him that he never really saw it. But, you know, Harcourt, with her investigative instincts and everything, was kind of like, dude, do you see this? It's fine, it's fine.
Well, but Vigilante didn't see it either.
But he's a lot like Peacemaker. He's oblivious to social cues and everything else.
Yes. That's why he's always happy.
Yep.
What was he asking him to tell? What animal was he saying this episode? Was it alligators?
Was it alligators? No, I can't remember, but I liked when he's like, okay, well, I'll just say some facts, and then when I say one that you guys know, one of you take over and say it. And I'm just like...
Koala bears. I think it's koala bears? Yeah. You go ahead and say something. No. Like animals is just like, no.
But I mean, overall, very good episode. Much like all of these, man. I swear they're done in 10 minutes. I don't know what it is about him. The smooth writing, the fun dialogue. You know, James Gunn does dialogue a lot like Quentin Tarantino, where it just seems natural. It is not, you know, like some movie dialogue where you're like, oh my God, I can tell this is totally written as dialogue instead of just, it seems like people just talking. And the fact that he doesn't...
Yeah, I was just going to say, when it seems like they're just talking to move the plot along, to let you know, the audience, where you are in the plot. I can't do that kind of dialogue either.
At times it's okay but yeah, you're right. Oh, too much of it is a bad thing. And this just seems like casual conversation while things are going on around him. And it's so well executed. And the fact that James Gunn doesn't really let people improvise lines, very rarely does he. Which one of them, I don't know if you saw, the whole line, I wish you would give me a name. And he's like, number 4 is a name. He goes, yeah, so is Gary. That was improvised by Alan Tudyk. And it made the film. But he doesn't usually let him improvise. And it's amazing how smooth and conversation like all that dialogue comes out. Really is.
Have you watched the after credit scenes that he did let him ad-lib on? Those have all been pretty damn funny too. Tim Meadows is just, I mean, even in this scene, the one scene he was in on this episode, where Rick Flag tells him to give him a minute, he just comes in and sits down.
He's like,
alone. Yeah. He steals the scene every time. He's cracking me up.
You are absolutely correct, sir.
Absolutely.
I mean, outside of my whole thought that Amanda Waller is going to show up as the leader of the Sons of Liberty, I don't got too much else thinking about it. It really seems pretty... I mean, moving forward, you know, obviously they kind of got caught. The second Amelia was kind of this dimension's Amelia was kind of like, hey, arrest her. She's not me. I don't know if they think she's a shapeshifter. So obviously they're going to have to break some people out, get some things done. John is caught by Augie with his, you know, hand through his knife. Judo Master is somewhere in this universe. And Abadeo is being chased by Keith and the white supremacists. So I don't know if they're all going to get caught, brought back to Argus. They're going to stage some, you know, escape, or if Peacemaker is going to free them one by one. Because I think it would be funny. They all came back to save him, and he's going to be the one saving all of them.
That would be a cool story arc, you know? And how many of them, they're all in separate places right now.
Yep.
So if they all get rounded up and taken to Argus, I don't know if Vigilante would be, I don't know if the Vigilante in this universe would take him to Argus.
He wouldn't. He might take him to the Sons of Liberty.
Right, and that's how we would find Amanda Waller.
Yep.
And all the others, you see, Harcourt's already there, so she's not going anywhere.
Yep.
Adebayo, or I don't know how to say it. she's not gonna outrun that entire neighborhood. But is his brother gonna be the one to catch her? And what's he gonna do? Is he gonna take her back to Argus, or is there just an inherent rule in a society like that to do something else?
Well, think about this for a minute too. Augie already understands from talking to John that they came from that pocket universe. If he brings her back and they find out, hey, we're basically getting invaded from that other dimension and stuff, and this isn't our Peacemaker, he killed our Peacemaker, they may get them all together to try to either throw him out or go back, like you said earlier. Maybe Augie wants to go back there and correct things to the way it should be, and he may be the White Dragon again in Chris's original dimension. So, I mean, there is definitely a lot of ways they can go with this, but I do see Peacemaker teaming up with the Sons of Liberty to basically save everybody that he needs to save in this universe, and it'll be like a slap in the face to his dad and brother, who I still think he's going to have to kill one or both of them again to get out, because they're not going to let him leave. So it's going to be
And
a
that
pretty...
sucks for him. Yeah. And it's like they're finally like, this is a big chance right here. I mean, so far he's been a superhero, and he has shown us things. But if he has to go through these next two episodes and be the superhero, like without any assistance from like his dimensional friends, but he's got to get the new dimensional friends. I don't know. I think it'll be great. I can't wait to see him at full force, and he's not gonna have to hold back. Like, if he has to kill his dad, he's not gonna. I bet that would hurt a lot less than him killing his brother again.
No, you're right. The brother would definitely be... I think he could still understand why his dad, he had to be killed in his dimension, and would understand, like, he could be a threat to my dimension now that I want to go back. And, I think he's figured out that, at least he thinks that he can crack Amelia in his dimension. Like, she's only saying no because she's broken and doesn't do well. And, yes, I go into bars and get in fights just to feel anything. And he's going to think he can fix that. So I think he's going to want to go. And I think his dad is going to stand in the way of them going back and being there. He's going to want revenge on his son's killer. And he's smart enough, even though he didn't create the quantum unfolding chamber, he knows how it works. And he probably has some, dimensions. He may even be friends with that alien inside.
At the same time, I don't think he has he even acknowledged that quantum unfolding area. His dad in this dimension, has he even acknowledged it? I thought he just came out and then they would say, "Oh, where were you?" He goes, "Oh, I was back in my room or something," and he didn't mention it, and they don't ask him about it. So does he know about it? You figure he has to, but they haven't mentioned it.
The fact that it's in the Smith mansion, he probably does know about it. But yeah, he hasn't outright mentioned. So it's possible maybe he doesn't know, and he's going to want to get that power for himself.
With Economos telling him, I guess he knows now.
Yes,
but maybe he didn't know before that. That would be insane, because that would unleash. If he did know about it beforehand, and he had just been staying in his own dimension and just everything was fine, but now somebody comes into his dimension and starts messing around, that might unleash him to come out and go do his dirty work elsewhere.
Well, especially if Chris escapes, has to kill his brother again, but Augie lives, he may come back to want to get revenge. He basically killed both his sons.
Yeah.
So that may be season 3. We may see the Blue Dragon in the main DCU trying to kill Peacemaker. I did like too when he's like, "Peacemaker, is he a meta?" "Nah, just a costume vigilante." And Lex is like, "Who cares?"
Yeah.
Like, he isn't anything.
He's nothing to me. That's about where he sets himself in the what do they call it? The top of the food chain. That's where he puts himself.
Oh yeah,
These people are insignificant.
He definitely thinks that way. He is pretty egotistical, so he definitely does not worry. He's only worried about the metas, and he even, when talking to Rick Flag, he was saying, "Didn't I tell you metas were going to be a problem? They're messing with global politics. They're doing all this stuff. I told you." And they're out there doing whatever they want, and I'm in here. Good move. And he's
and he seemed a little more tame than he was in the movie. So I don't know how long he is supposed to have been in jail, but that chilled him out a little bit.
Or he just know he has to be chill. Because if he would have he probably looks down on Rick Flag. Because remember, they met in Superman.
Yeah.
And they didn't give him what he wanted. So he's smart enough to know, I really want to go off on this guy. But I can't, because he's going to give me what I need to do next part of my plan. He's going to get me out of this, he's going to get me out of Belle Reve. And as you said, Christine Maxwell treatment, go to a much better place where he probably has access to technology to do as he pleases. So,
yeah.
Well, are you ready to rate this episode, sir?
I am. I shall proceed. Before we went into the episode, we did read and mention on our last episode that James Gunn had said this was the, a very good acting performance from John Cena. And while I think he did a really good job, it didn't really blow me away, but what blew me away was Harcourt's acting. I thought she was amazing, especially that scene, like me and Keith were just talking about, where they're in the interrogation room. And, she went through so many emotions there. And he was just asking her, and sticking on topic. And I don't know, that was a great scene. We kind of knew it was going to end up the way it did. I like that James Gunn really knows how to write a TV show and a movie. I mean, that's kind of unique because he knows where to leave you at the end of the episode. And like here, all of the good guys are on the run. And you don't know what's going to happen. And I love that he didn't release it to anybody, and we're all seeing it first at the same time. He's done such a great job with the show. I hope, and yeah, like he said, the opening song is starting to grow on me. I still don't think it's as good as last year's, but it's starting to grow on me. You just keep on keeping on. And I don't know. I hope there's a season 3. I don't see, I didn't know what the story was going to be for this year after last year, but it could be something fresh every year, which is awesome. So I hope they keep going. I hope they make more and more seasons of this. It's been a great show, and I'm going to give this episode an 8, which is pretty high for me.
That's definitely high for you. Yeah. This episode was really good, and it really was just pushing plots to places we needed to get it, but it didn't feel that way in any way. It was just so well executed, so well acted. Everyone in this show is so good, and it amazes me. You talked about how he can write a TV show or a movie, and he just gets along with actors, seemingly, like Nicholas Hoult coming in for a cameo as Lex Luthor to push a story forward. He probably did it for scale or something. I don't know that for sure, but I know that Michael Rooker did Red St. Wild for almost nothing because they didn't have it in the budget. He just did it, and he promised he'd bring him back for another role in the DCU or something, or get him something. And but he just seems to get along with these people and write for them, and it's amazing to me how much his writing just flows and the plot threads weave in and out. And when you're watching it, like a lot of times I'll be like, okay, they showed that because it's going to come in later and do this. But I don't, like when I'm watching James' stuff, I'm just like, oh, this is so good, I'm enjoying it. And I'll put it together later. He really brings you into the moment with the soundtrack, the acting. And I did think John Cena, once again, I've said before, I'm not the biggest John Cena fan, but I am definitely turning a corner on him with Peacemaker. And the scene between him and Harcourt, well, she did a much better job. Like that sort of crying at the end, like when she's talking, she doesn't, she's broken, she doesn't have feelings, and, all this stuff. You can see tears welling up in her eyes, and I was like, wow, that's given me, a hit of the feels too. But John Cena did good too. He was just outacted in that scene. But I mean, overall, each episode's building on the last and just getting better and better. And we still have Judo Master out there. We still, have, like you said, all of them are captured at different areas, and it's all going to come together somehow. We still have the Sons of Liberty to interplay to see if they come into it anymore, and I can't wait to see the next one. This, for me, is an 8.5. I mean, I dug this episode. It was so well done. I'm glad it's Monday because we only have to wait 3 more days at 9 o'clock for it to be on, and we only got 2 episodes left, and it's going to be sad because we're not going to get anything else from the DCU until Lanterns in early 2026.
That's a stinger.
It is. It definitely is.
So I'm going to say Doug gave it an 8.25 because he always does this.
I think that's accurate. I just thought of something.
Yes.
Will we see G.I. Robot in this universe?
Why would you pick him?
Working for the Sons of Liberty because he hates Nazis.
Oh my God, you're right. That'd be awesome. Just to show up and just start murdering people. That'd be hilarious. Oh my God, that'd be funny. And he is canon because of Creature Commandos.
Yep.
Oh my God, that would be hilarious.
I hope it happens. He was the best part of Creature Commandos, and that show was very well done. Him, Frankenstein, all of it was so good. But if we get a GI, sounds like something a Nazi would say.
And that was Michael Rooker. That was the one who found him and tuned him up.
Yep.
Remember?
Uh-huh.
He took him to a meeting, and that was it. Oh, that's funny. I hope that happens.
I know. Now it has to happen, or I'm going to be disappointed because that would be the perfect.
You ruined it for the rest of us.
I know. I'm sorry. To see like the final battle with G.I. Robot just gleefully blasting Nazis away would be a wonderful ending to this season. Now, we don't know if we're back to talking MCU, so we're going to pretend this kind of isn't an MCU thing because we found out what movie is going to be dropping in July of 2027, which was previously an untitled MCU movie. And we had speculated it might be another Avengers movie, Avengers Forever or something. But that's not the case.
Oh.
The Simpsons movie 2 has taken that date. So there's going to be another Simpsons movie, and it's coming out July of 2027.
But that means there's no MCU movie coming out then?
Disney doesn't usually put out 2 movies on the same day. So it's either going to move. Seemingly, it's confirmed we are getting 1 MCU movie in 2027, which is going to be Avengers Secret Wars.
Wow. I guess they're just like done advancing this phase, and then they're going to get through the phase and then do the reboot. I read somewhere that there's still some elements that are going to stay from the first few phases, but mostly it's going to be redone. Like they're going to cover some areas that they kind of glossed over in the first phases, and they're going to flesh it out. If that's true, that'd be great.
Yep, they're going to recast some characters.
Special investigation didn't happen.
That would be fantastic. Yeah, that definitely has to be taken out. But I mean, it's kind of funny, It's a good thing that if that is the case, if we're not getting now, it could have just what's it called? The Simpsons movie could have just taken it and it's fine. It's still going to have an MCU movie. It's just going to move. But if not, it's still good as long as they're taking this time to build up post Secret Wars. What's going to be the next phase? How are we going to handle it all? The X-Men stuff is probably going to be more front and center. But with the reboot, are we going to see Iron Man, Captain America, Fantastic Four elements creeping in? Get it all down. Are we going to have, the cosmic story? Are we going to have the grounded story? Are we going to have the mutant story? And nail it all down. As much as I like to see, a bunch of comic book movies a year, it's always better when they're quality. So
Yeah.
take your time.
It's
You know
like
what?
you don't want to watch Venom, that Venom verse. You wouldn't probably want to watch that again. Watched it once, and that was enough.
Maybe too many, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's fine because we'll probably, because next year we're gonna have Daredevil, Born Again season 2, the Punisher special presentation, X-Men '97 season 2. Sounds like we're gonna get Friendly Neighborhood, Spider-Man season 2. We got Avengers Doomsday. We got Spider-Man Brand New Day. So there's a lot next year for the MCU, and if Doomsday just blows everyone away and the build up to Secret Wars is just that good, it's fine not having a bunch of stuff. And maybe we'll get a show or two, or Daredevil season 3, because we have heard that has been renewed for season 3 now. Probably Wonder Man season 2, get him ready to take on the Beyonder and Secret Wars. So yeah, it's all good. And there's time for some Star Mandalorian and Grogu, and maybe some Filoni stuff will be going next or in 2027. So you're doing the right thing, Marvel. You don't got to race to get 5 movies out a year or a bunch of shows. Just make it good, because the quality has definitely dropped in the multiversal saga.
That's if we cover it. We have to do some talking within our channel.
Yep.
See if they've done enough to make up for their error in their ways.
And we'll definitely be discussing it. We'll let everybody know, what we decide and where we're going and all that good stuff. But nothing else really to talk about tonight, sir, unless you got anything you'd like to discuss.
I haven't seen anything that I don't think we haven't discussed.
Well, should we find somebody to raid?
Yep, let me look here. Oh, I just got the same old people. We got Bubble. She's playing Silent Hill.
A lot of people are
I
playing
got Brad +2. But
Sarah Jane is playing Silent Hill. Laura Dreaming. Oh, just chatting. Spider Dude.
It's funny. Spider-Man has a dash, has a hyphen between Spider and Man. So could that be his last name?
Could be, yeah.
I hyphenated last name. My mom's name was Man, and my dad's name was Spider.
Should we do Bubble, sir?
I'm down with Bubble. She's got 9. She'd love it, and she said she loves it here.
All right, for those of you on YouTube, rating is something we do on Twitch, where we send our viewers to another content creator to keep the party going. And there's a way to do it on YouTube, but you have to know before you start to stream who you're going to, send your viewers to, and we never know who's going to be on when we're done. So we don't really do it, but everybody, thank you so much for being here today to talk Peacemaker episode 6. We'll be back Thursday night talking the new episode of Gen V, and we'll be back next Sunday talking Peacemaker episode 7. So if you're on YouTube, don't forget to do the YouTube stuff, subscribe, leave a comment, like the video. It's free to you and it helps our small channel out tremendously. But now we are going to raid, so don't forget to put your comments down below, and we will see you next time on Not Your Status Quo.
Hey fellow nerds, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of this stuff, make sure that you check out our Twitch stream. We try to do these live Sunday or Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Keep an eye on our social media to find out when you can join in live and chat with us during these live streams. Also, as usual, don't forget to check out our other social media. Add us at Twitter, comment down below, and we'll see you next time right here on Not Your Status Quo.